now sporting a different look. It is a new trend. On the program today, we find out if this trend is a momentary comeback or if it has come to stay. Welcome to Woman's World. I am Oyinlola Sally. The good old natural hair is gradually making a comeback amongst African women. Today on Issues, we'll explore the reasons behind this. We'll also bring you up to speed with the latest headlines. And on Life on Top, we meet a woman whose life goal is to help other women in her country. Now onto our issue for the day, the natural hair revolution.
There is a hair revolution going on among African women, most especially in Nigeria.
There's this trend. It's not new. I won't say it's a new trend, but it's certainly becoming bigger than it used to be. So it's no longer for religious reasons that you see people have natural hair. So it's not because they don't want to put any sort of artificial or chemicals into their hair. Now it's because it's fashionable, it's economical.
I have a theory. I think that we've come full circle. What has happened is that during my mother's time, I remember seeing pictures of her with her nice afros and her thread. But then about that time, it became fashionable to have relaxed hair. And if you had afro hair, then you were considered local. If you had natural hair, you were considered local. So all these ladies rushed into having relaxed hair. But over the years, it has been found not to be really sustainable. If you want to have healthy hair, relaxed hair and healthy hair haven't been quite synonymous. If you have a full head of hair one day and you wake up and it's all breaking, and you realize that there have been studies, and you realize that the connection is the chemical processing and the lack of care, because you can have relaxed hair and still have healthy hair. And then you know that, and you're told that if you go back to having natural hair, your hair will be healthier, it will grow thicker. We've just come full circle, really. People have realized that relaxed hair is not necessarily the best for them. And studies have proven that African hair is weakest when it is chemically processed.
Which is what a lot of people do not understand, because when you feel the hair, it feels so coarse and feels so you feel, oh, this hair is so strong, I know, I need to relax it to get it to be soft. But it's not true. Your natural hair is actually soft. Explain that to me. I don't understand how my natural hair is actually soft.
It can be soft, and at the same time it can be dry. Everything borders on knowing what to do with your hair. Natural hair, African hair, is very thirsty. So if you just let it be without watering it, so to speak, and I'll explain what I mean by watering it, without watering it, then it's just going to be really dry, really coarse, really hard to deal with. But if you cultivate the habit of spritzing your hair with some sort of liquid and then sealing that liquid in with an oil like coconut oil or shea butter, if your hair is not fine and you can take shea butter, then you find that your hair can stay soft and be manageable for a lot longer.
Did you transition, so did you become natural, or have you always had natural hair?
In 2008, I had one really bad relaxer experience. I mean, it was it was really bad. I had pus coming out of my hair. My scalp was very tender for a long time, and I said to myself, what is the point? You know, it's not as if at that point my hair it was long, but it wasn't healthy. It was breaking. I had hair on my blouses. I had hair on my pillow when I'd wake up. I just said, you know what, I'm done with this whole relaxer thing. I can actually do without it. I've only relaxed my hair, maybe in 1 year I've relaxed my hair once, so why not do without it? And I did transition. I didn't know, there were no resources. I couldn't go to a salon and say to them, help me with my hair. So I had to transition, and I didn't even know it was called transitioning. So it was as if I was living in this hole and I was figuring out things for myself. Now a lot of resources out there, and I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and I read a lot of blogs. A lot of them belong to Americans. Very few of them belong to people living in England. And the Americans had all sorts of things. I found a lot of stuff that was useful, but I also found stuff that wasn't too useful for me living in Nigeria and having typical Nigerian hair. I hear there's actually a song, something like Tougher Than Nigerian Hair. Really? Yes.
I'll find that.
I didn't even know about that until later on.
And I always think it's better to have products that don't have sulfates and extra ingredients. So we'll be using Earth's Nectar today to do your detangle with, but it's just a simple mix of conditioner and water. The conditioner helps to protect your hair in the shampooing process as well. Always start by sectioning the hair first. The very first step is to section your hair into a size that's manageable and easy for you to comb. I usually like to start on the tips of the hair, as far on the tip as I can, working my way back up to the scalp. And the next step would be to put your hair in a large twist that will keep it from retangling while I'm going through the process of detangling.
Many women often raise the issue of how complicated caring for one's natural hair is.
Wait, how did you now know, okay, this is what works for my hair?
I had to figure out what worked best for me. And also I'm a bit of I don't believe in spending too much money on certain things, hair being one of them. I've spent enough, so I wasn't willing to try this product, that product, and a few of them are quite expensive. And I wanted something local that would work for me, something I could walk into a market or anywhere and be able to get in Nigeria.
Yes, because there's a lot of hair, as you can see, and it's a lot of work to take care of it. And I had all my bag of tricks for the permed hair, and I had to relearn everything with the natural hair. It doesn't like a lot of fussing. I just deep condition it like once a week, and then I do braid outs at night or buns. But and I've experimented with a lot of natural products, and I have found some that I like now. But it just really just needs an oil, a good deep condition, and not handle it much when dry. I mostly comb it when it's wet.
By natural hair, we simply mean hair whose texture has not been altered by chemical straighteners like relaxers.
It's just a matter of being politically correct. Your hair is not in its natural state. Its natural state is when you don't have to do the whole chemical. If you want me to be a bit technical, I mean, when you put the relaxer in, there are bonds in your hair, that sulfide bonds are actually broken, which is what straightens your hair. So
So there's no going back. You have to take out that part that has been chemically affected. I can't decide with transition. I can't decide, I don't want to cut my hair and start all over again like some people will do. I want my hair to still be at the same length and probably not relax my hair for years. Wouldn't it just go back to its natural state?
this is a really important question. Some people say, I want to maintain the length of my hair. Is there anything I can pour on it to make it natural? And the answer is no. You're going to have to at some point cut off the relaxed bits, because the chemical process is not a temporary thing. It's not reversible. It's permanent.
Some people don't want to chop their hair. They just want to leave it to grow out. Want to leave the new growth to grow out. It all depends on you, if you're going to be comfortable with it. I had a lot of battles, my mom, my boyfriend, my friends, but it was ultimately me. So whoever, it's ultimately you. If you want to do it, go ahead. It's hair, it grows, it will grow.
Slowly, I think the big chop is too dramatic for most people. I don't know that I would advise it. It's very shocking. But if you can transition it using braids and just aggressive trimming, I think that's the way to do it. And then just learn to deal with it yourself.
We've got this misconception in Nigeria that, African hair doesn't grow long. That's not true. I mean, my dreads were up to there and I cut them. And I have no fear of cutting my hair because I know it will grow back.
there should be a way that I can have relaxed hair. You stated that earlier, I can have relaxed hair and still have healthy hair, which is the whole point with going natural in the first place. You want your hair to be healthy and you want it to be economical. So how do I maintain that balance?
You can have healthier, relaxed hair by, for one thing, reading the label, reading the instructions that come up with your relaxer. A lot of companies say put it in for a total of 15 minutes, but Nigerian hairstylists have lost that, and they put it in until it is well fried or is properly done, not caring about your scalp. So I'd say the very first thing you need to do is when you're relaxing your hair, you ensure that you only have the relaxer in for as long as the manufacturer has stated you should have it in. Wash it out, even if it is not well done or well fried or whatever it is that you like to call it. Wash it out immediately. Don't do it too frequently. I went through a phase where it was expected that every 6 to 8 weeks I would retouch the roots. It's not necessary. You can actually do other things, like what you have on is a protective style. You can have things like this on your hair and stretch it out. You can start with 3 months, every 3 months. Then you can stretch that to every 6 months. And you will find that it gets easier and easier. I've done that in the past, so I'm confident that if anyone wants to embark on that, it's something that they can do.
Natural hair isn't exactly a trend, many naturals will say. After all, how is wearing your hair the way it grows from your scalp any kind of fad?
I grew up when natural was okay. You know, we had afros, we had all these kind of things. So up to a point, until the weaves and all that came in, we embraced the naturalness. You know, it was all the black thing and black power, and a very important part of black power and blackness was the afro, and the afro came from the natural hair.
Well, whether a trend or not, going natural or having natural hair is attracting more and more women now than it has ever done.
Thank you very much.
Quite revealing. Before we go on, A Woman's World has a message for you.
I think that we need to begin to put the argument straight, and I think it's not about shaming and naming. Yes, we've done the shaming. Yes, we know who has voted and who has not voted. But rather it's to say that this is an issue, this generation should stop child marriage, and we should all work towards it. And yes, we should continue with the protests, we should continue with the media talk, we should also continue with that scientific strategy that we need to do to ensure that we get the votes out.
Up after the break, the latest headlines in the world of women. And on Life on Top, a woman whose mission is to make better the lives of other women. Stay tuned.